And that's a wrap for this episode of Black, White, and Blue in the South. Don't pack up yet, Teresa. We still got another half hour of closing.
No, we don't.
We like to drag this out.
I thought we were going to end happy.
Right.
We hope you enjoyed what you heard today. Please take a quick minute and leave us a rating and a review of this show. We really want to know what you think. Your reviews drive search engines and make us more visible to new subscribers. If you do that, Jamil will promise to fill out all of your Medicaid work requirement forms for you.
Lies.
You can reach out to her at blackwhiteblueinthesouth@gmail.com. If you are a blue dot in a red sea, keep the faith, keep up the hard work. Change only happens over many years of work and dedication. For our closing quote today, I'm actually going to play a clip. Who has been in the news and a champion of free speech and liberty and fighting back against this fascist government. And I want to play a little bit of Jimmy Kimmel's return to the air from Tuesday night. Let's listen to what Jimmy had to say.
Jimmy.
This show is not important. What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this. I've had the opportunity to meet and spend time with comedians and talk show hosts from countries like Russia, countries in the Middle East, who tell me they would get thrown in prison for making fun of those in power, and worse than being thrown in prison. They know how lucky we are here. Our freedom to speak is what they admire most about this country. And that's something I'm embarrassed to say I took for granted until they pulled my friend Steven off the air and tried to coerce the affiliates who run our show in the cities that you live in to take my show off the air. That's not legal. That's not American. That is un-American, and it is so dangerous. I want you to think about this. The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke. He was somehow able to squeeze Colbert out of CBS. Then he turned his sights on me, and now he's openly rooting for NBC to fire Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers and the hundreds of Americans who work for their shows who don't make millions of dollars. And I hope that if that happens, or if there's even any hint of that happening, you will be 10 times as loud as you were this week. We have to speak out against this stuff because he's not stopping. And it's not just comedy. He's gunning for our journalists, too. He's suing them. He's bullying them. Over the weekend, his foxy friend Pete Hegseth announced a new policy that requires journalists with Pentagon press credentials to sign a pledge promising not to report information that hasn't been explicitly authorized for release. That includes unclassified information. They want to pick and choose what the news is. I know that's not as interesting as muzzling a comedian, but it's so important to have a free press, and it is nuts that we aren't paying more attention to it.
I would never believe 30 years ago that Jimmy Kimmel would become the voice of freedom in America. If you knew what he was doing back then in the day, you'd look at him and go, what? Really? That guy is going to go up against the President of the United States for First Amendment rights.
He shouldn't even have to do that.
Right. Well, Teresa, we thank you so much for spending half your day with us today. It has
Thank you
been
for
wonderful.
having me.
And we look forward to seeing what happens to you in the future.
Yeah,
we may
me
have
too.
to have you back.
Yeah. Do. The end.